Howdy YouTube, this is Steven, and I'm back with another photo analysis. This time I'll be analyzing the covers of Ayumi Hamasaki's single Rule slash Sparkle. And this photo analysis was requested by YouTube user LV90047 space period. So thanks a lot for the request, LV. Alright, now let's start with Single Jacket A. Alright, this is the cover for Single Jacket A for the Rule Sparkle single. Okay, so when you look at this single, you notice that it's more like a beauty shot. And I think it's alright. However, I don't quite understand Ayumi Hamasaki's facial expression in this photo. I'm not sure what she's trying to portray. I guess she's trying to say that she's maybe tough. I'm not sure. The theme, if there is a theme of these photos, the theme would be Rule slash Sparkle. But that's a difficult theme to interpret. So I'm assuming that the theme probably was loosely interpreted at best. But let's see. If you notice, Ayumi's hair looks a bit disheveled for some reason. I guess no one in her crew caught that. Her nails, I like the way her nail looks on her index finger. I like that color. But on her thumb finger, I don't like that color. It's like polka dots or something. And you can also see on her lower hand that she's colored her nails as well on those fingers. But you can't really see them all that well. Let's see. The green gloves. I kind of like the green gloves. I mean, green is a bit of a strong color and it's a bit of a hard color to pull off. But I think that Ayumi is, somewhat pulling the color green off. And I like, Ayumi's eyes. I do like her eyes. I'm not sure what she's portraying with her eyes, though. It's kind of like not quite deer in the headlights, but it's not determined. I think that's part of the issue I have with this photo is I'm not sure of what Ayumi is trying to express with her face. Let's see. Her earrings are kind of interesting. They're in the shape of a star, obviously, and it's like a star within a star within a star type of thing going on. And the question is, was like, are the earrings necessary? Sometimes less is more. I know for sure that the coloration, like the coloring of her nails, weren't really necessary. However, if all her nails were colored the same color as her index finger, then I would let that slide and be like, okay, it's a good addition to the photo. But I don't think, it was a good addition to the photo. The nails were, anyway, the coloration of the nails. And the earrings, I think it might be a bit too much. Because this is a beauty shot, and sometimes that can kind of take away from what you're supposed to be focused on, which is Ayumi Hamasaki's face. But hey, it's an alright photo. And I see that she has on a yellow outfit as well. Interesting choice of colors. And then also, if you notice the background, it looked like she's laying on some type of a background that is not a wall. It's kind of like, it looks somewhat like maybe like a beanbag chair or something, but I don't think it's that. But I just think that, whatever she's laying on is not a typical wall. You know, the background is interesting. Okay, let's look at single jacket B. Alright, I like Ayumi's facial expression here. It seems to be giving me kind of like the look of I'm confident, like I'm here, I'm confident, and I'm sexy. And I think that's a good look. The earrings weren't necessary in this photo. I think they bring down the photo, in my personal opinion. However, they do work better here than they did in the previous photo. I like Ayumi's body positioning. However, I do think that she lost her neck in this photo. And I think that the way that she positioned her arm around her head, I think that kind of brought her shoulders up and that made her lose her neck. However, thankfully, she did not lose all of her neck. So, she's not like totally a no-neck monster. But, she is definitely, on the edge, on the edge. I think, like, her fingers look a bit odd around her head. It looks like she brought in one of her fingers, so it looks like she only has 3 fingers there, when it should look like she has 4 fingers there. I don't know why she did that. That doesn't look good on the photo. Also, if you look at the fingers that are on her, like the hand and the fingers that are on her boot, you'll notice that they're kind of odd too. It seems like Ayumi doesn't know what to do with her fingers, at least in these photos. I like that they show the boot. I think the boot's a nice touch, and it adds like a nice color to the photo. And also, if you notice, the background looks a little different. It's the same background, but it's not as ruffled as it looked in the previous photo. And I think that's a nice touch too. It's different. It's smooth this time around, and I like that. Also, Ayumi's hair looks better in this photo. It doesn't look so disheveled. So, good job there, Ayumi. And I like Ayumi's eyes in this photo. Her eyes are really selling her facial expression and selling this photo for me. So I think Ayumi did a good job with this photo. Granted, the pose may come off as a bit like yoga meets Circus Soleil, but I think that it's a good body position. It is something unique. You don't see single covers of artists doing unique body positionings so often, but Ayumi has incorporated this into her CD cover, her single cover. So good job there, Ayumi. Good job there. And I also like that is coming off as a bit more daring and bold in this photo. But I think I've said all I can say about this photo for the time being. Let's move on to the final photo, which is the photo for single cover jacket C. Alright. For this photo, you'll notice that Ayumi is doing a pose that is similar to the previous photo, single jacket B. But the poses are different. They are different. And if you notice, Ayumi has a lot of neck in this photo, and the pose that she's doing really helps. If you're doing a pose like that and you have no neck, if you still have no neck, then You are just a no-neck monster. What can I say? You know, if you don't have a neck with a pose like that, then it's no hope for you. It's no hope for you, and I'm sorry. I like Ayumi's hair in this photo. I like her body position as well. Again, it's a bit yoga meets Circus Soleil, but I like the body position. However, her hands look awkward. If you look at her hand that is by her head, look at the fingers. Her fingers, again, she doesn't know what to do with her fingers. I think that's the part of the issue here. It looks like she has like 4 fingers. Well, it looks like she's missing a finger, rather. You know, and it's not coming off that well. And you know, little details like this really help elevate a photo and bring it to a higher quality, or you know, bring the quality of the photo down. And also, if you notice her fingers and the hand and her fingers that are on her boot, you'll notice that, you know, it looks like Ayumi's throwing up gang signs or something. Like, look at the way her fingers are positioned. Like, I didn't know Ayumi was repping a gang. I didn't know Ayumi was about that life. But apparently, it looks like she's, you know, giving some undercover gang signs or something over there. Let's see. I like the background. This is a nice background. I think this background is the best one. It's like ruffled a little bit, but not too much. It's just enough. Where it's not like kind of like too much. The earrings, again, aren't necessary, but I will say that these earrings probably look the best here in this photo. And it's only one earring showing, so I'm pretty sure that helps too. I like her hair in this photo. I think I may have mentioned that, but I'm not sure. But if I haven't mentioned it already, I like Ayumi Hamasaki's hair in this photo. Looks really nice and luscious and, you know, very healthy. So kudos to her hairstylist for that. Let's see. However, if you look at Ayumi Hamasaki's face, it looks a bit tense. Like, why does her face look tense? I think she should have like a more serene look to her face, kind of like she's flying up to the sky. But here she's looking like, okay, take the picture. Is it over yet? Dang it! Still have to do this pose. Hurry up and take the picture. And it comes off on her face, and that's not good. You know, I know that sometimes photos that look good aren't necessarily the easiest to achieve, but you have to do whatever it takes to get the best photo, and you have to make it look, you know, like as natural and as easy as possible. You can't let the pain and frustration register on your face. Because your face is the face is really important, and this is inside, and this is in like a profile view too. So like, think about her face if you saw it straight on, how it would look with this facial expression. It wouldn't be a good look. So that facial expression sort of brings down this photo. But I do like this photo, and I like the body positioning of this photo. And I also like the coloration of the boots, like the coloration that the boots add. So good job, Ayumi. Good job. All right. So here's how I rank these photos. I rank photo B, you know, single jacket B, as the best photo because it incorporates elements of single jacket A and elements of single jacket C into the photo. And it does a great job doing that. You know, you have the body positioning here. from single jacket C. And also you have the facial expression from single jacket A, but the facial expression has been upgraded. So it combines both elements of single jacket A and single jacket C for a good photo. A really good photo, in my opinion. For me, what sells the photo is Ayumi Hamasaki's facial expression. I think that facial expression is the best facial expression in this photo shoot. So good job, Ayumi. The second best photo for me is single jacket C. I like the pose. I like the way her neck looks. You know, her body looks really long here. But for me, I think that her facial expression sort of brings down the photo, and also her weird positioning of her fingers. That kind of brings down the photo for me personally. And also, if you notice around her arm, that's attached to her boot, well, holding her boot. If you notice on her upper arm there, there's some weird coloration there. It looks like a tattoo, but Ayumi doesn't have a tattoo. So it looks like there's some issue with Photoshop, maybe? Because it looks like her arm is pink. So I guess this photo was photoshopped or something. Something's up with this photo right there, because that shouldn't be like that. But anywho, the least best photo for me is single jacket A, and that is because the facial expression. I think that the facial expression, I don't understand it. Me personally, I'm not quite sure what it means. Is it supposed to mean like, you know, I'm strong? Is it supposed to mean that she is present? I'm not sure. However, I do kind of like the body positioning that she has. It's a bit simple compared to the other body positions that she's had in this photo shoot. But I kind of like that. I kind of like the body position here. And plus, you know, this is a beauty shot, so it would be very difficult to do like a very elaborate body position. But that's pretty much all I have to say. Thanks a lot for listening to my photo analysis. You know, feel free to comment. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to give me a thumbs up. The feedback and the support is greatly appreciated. Until the next photo analysis, adios and goodbye for now.